Hello, hello, hello. Ooh, where did I put my drink? Alright, just while you join me, I'm just gonna grab my drink. It's just on the table. So I am back with another challenge. I really like doing these challenges. I think it focuses me. So I'm gonna hold on for a minute, see if anyone can join me live. Someone is here. Do say hello if you're joining. So yeah, over on our group, Thompson Craft Supplies group, so this is the page here. We've been having a weekly challenge as of late. With a colour mood board, colour scheme and some inspiration. And this week's new challenge is up, and the theme this week is purple. So I thought I would pop on and do a demo. I haven't been on for probably nearly a week now. Don't know, just not quite felt with it to do a demo. Maybe I overdid myself. I don't know. I had a couple of days where I felt a bit down. So yeah, I've not been on, but I'm feeling good. So I thought I'd come back on today. This is a Perspex panel. Now, if you like these, let me know what you think. I have done one before, which, let me see if I can grab it. 1 second. No, I don't have the Perspex panel where I thought it was. That was the one I did on Myla, I was thinking of. So anyway, so this is Perspex panel. Okay, so I've just took the peel off that comes on it to stop it getting scratched. So it's just something different to work on. Obviously it's plastic, so you need to think about, to start with, making the surface so you can work on it. So if I were to just spray inks or put watercolor over this, it's not going to do anything because it'll just run. So we need to start by popping some gesso on here. I'm going to go with clear gesso today. I think, or yeah, because I want to keep this feel of the plastic, the kind of natural look. If I wanted to cover that, then I could go for white gesso or black gesso if I was going to use metallics. So I'm just going to go with clear, keep this kind of feel of the Perspex. So just a rough coat, and this is going to allow me, if I decide to add any water-based mediums, it will then stick to this panel. It's a good first step to always think of gesso. If you're working on paper, it's going to stop that soaking in, or anything porous like wood, anything like that. Craft board, anything that it can soak into, so you're not going to waste much. And if it's like a album or something like that, you're not going to get those dirty marks on the back by giving a good protective layer. So if you're doing it in a book, I would maybe add a couple of layers. Hi Cleo, hello Margaret, hello Julia. Yeah, so to protect our surface. Okay, that's what we're using it for at this stage. Now I've just hidden my heat gun. Here we go. So obviously this is plastic. This is not turned on. What's just going on here? Oh, there we go. It's plastic, so it's going to get warm, so we need to be careful not to touch it for a bit. I'll wait till people join, and then I want to say something as well. See if I can get any more of you on before I have my little spiel. There we go, we can see because this is clear gesso now, that is fading away. Okay. Okay, so I have lovely Hobbylicious ladies have got a new piece coming out. This is some craft board they sent me with my newest order for a kit that me and Kasha are working on, and I thought I would use these today. So these are layerable, so there's a butterfly with layerable parts, a little piece down here, kind of a moth or butterfly if you like. There's a little bee here bit that goes on top there, kind of looks like a bug, doesn't it, there? So that sits on top and you can layer up the wings, and then the dragonfly, which is the one I'm going to be using today. So we've got like the body and it all sits up on top, so you get double layers of bits. So that's going to be my focus today. I liked, if you saw the orange kind of round canvas, if you like that I did, I thought I would do something similar to that. So I've gathered lots of embellishments, which is where I'm going to start now. So I've got metals, I've got some of my moulded pieces with my prima modelling material and moulds. I've got some prima flowers and generic flowers. I've got Hobbylicious MDFs in here and some other MDFs. Hi Marie. I've got some Finnabair metals, some generic metals. So I'm going to play around here and build a composition. So I'm going for kind of a wild garden feel, and we're going to make it all purple afterwards. Okay, and I'm using very heavy bodied paints today, very pigmented, very heavy bodied. Thank you, Margaret. If I was to be using not these paints, something else, I would want to go with a white gesso, because this natural wood colour is very dark. So if I was to just be using, say, some watercolours or not as pigmented paints, or maybe I want to use ink sprays even, it wouldn't cover this natural wood colour very well. But as I know I'm going to be using those, I'm not too concerned about covering the colour on this project, so I'm okay to carry on with my clear gesso on this particular project. So it's important to think about those things. Okay, so let's just start playing. Let's see. So I've got some bigger pieces. Hi Lisa. I would probably start with first to make sure they fit in. And I'm just gonna keep playing until I like it, and then we will work on getting this stuck down, gessoed, and then coloured, and any sort of final decorations we want. So let's have a play, see what we think. Maybe okay, so we're working on composition here. You could plan. This is what I'm doing at the minute. I'm planning, and it's a good idea. This is a Hobbylicious one actually, and I didn't even realise I had this, ladies. I think I saw Cleo pop in, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, is this the one from your new set that is coming that you showed me before? But yes, it is a Hobbylicious one. They are open, so do pop along. We have Hobbylicious on our own website too, and I am going to be ordering some more this weekend, so if there is anything you would like us to stock from there, let me know. This little Diddy birdhouse is going to be coming soon there as well. Now what have I done with the bit that goes on top of that? There's a little piece, there it is, that sits on top. Okay, so I'm going to have that there, I think. I've got, or maybe it's going to go higher up to be more of a focal point. So you've got a craft board one, similar. Yeah. Yeah, they're beautiful. Hi, Auntie Carol. Nice to see you. Yeah, they're stunning. This is a new set coming. Is it out now, Cleo, or is it coming soon? I've forgotten. It's from the autumnal range. Ah, okay. I knew I'd seen it somewhere. So I'm just going to play around with bits and bobs, see what we think. Hi, DePaul. Build this up. I want to try to start with bigger bits and add in smaller bits. So I started with the small bits. Coming soon. There you go. That was a little exclusive little peek there for you then. If I started with the small bits, they would get lost in amongst all these bigger bits. So that's why I'm starting with the bigger pieces. Okay, this is one of the new molds, my favorite. Hi, Sarah. It's the new butterfly mold. So this one. Ooh, and they're on our website now. This one too. This one, nautical one. I treated myself quite a lot. The mermaid and the roses. So yeah, I treated myself, and there are some more. Okay. Right, let's see. I'm just trying to come up with a kind of composition here. I don't feel that's working for me. That's better. Yeah, okay, that's making me happier. That's a bit better. We can, and these are Finnabair flowers. They bend, these ones, so you can fit them in better. And like some of the cheap metals you can get, they're the same, so they're handy to make them fit or just look a bit more interesting. Or if you're working on a rounded project, say, you can mold them to what you're working on. Okay, and we mustn't forget the dragonfly, because I want that to be my focal point. Okay, I'm gonna have, yeah, the nautical is awesome, and you know, you have to have the nautical and the mermaid together. Just because you do. Okay, I think I'll start sticking this down. I like this kind of feel here at the bottom. So at this point, if you're able to get your camera or your phone, it's a good idea to take a photo, then you can remember where everything sits. What we'll do is just kind of scoot it down so I can kind of remember where it sits. Okay, I'll just pop those there. Right, so let's start. Okay, I'm going to use 3D gloss gel. You could use our Fabrica 3D gel. Actually, I was going to use up my Fabrica one first. So Fabrica 3D gel, I got a pot that's nearly done with, so let's use this one first. So if you've not used these are thicker, very sticky gels. My personal opinion, Fabrica is very strong. It dries a bit quicker than the Prima one, but it's not as good if you wanted to, say, make a gel to stencil with. The 3D gel is amazing. It's my favorite medium, but it does take a bit longer to dry fully. So if you were using it to, say, stencil with, for example, you would then need to be patient and let that dry before you could carry on. So it's just depending what you want to use it for. It's, yeah, these are both very good, and I use them both equally as much probably these days. Just depends what's hand. And I say if I wanted to make a gel though, I would go for the Prima one rather than the Fabrica. Just my personal opinion. Okay, and I had, let's see, this was here somewhere with this, I think, wasn't it? Yep, so I'll stick this fern down first. And we don't need to cover everything, it's just kind of taking your palette knife and patting it on there, because if we put too much on, we're going to have lots of excess squeeze out, and that's fine because it does dry clear. But it will be there, it will be a texture. If you've got too much, you can wipe it off, or you could go in with a paintbrush like this, a thinner paintbrush, and just pull that back out, so it's fine. The other thing you can do is make use of the gel and pop some things over it, so microbeads, art stones, that sort of thing. Okay, which I will be adding in a bit. Now the colours, you can be like, well, isn't this challenge purple? You know, these are all different colours and none are purple. Don't worry, we're going to be recolouring them. Okay, now this was kind of coming out there, I think, wasn't it? That was my idea. I think I've pretty much done the death on that pot. Okay. I'm going to slot little bits and bobs in. That's a bit there. And I had this nice little metal flower. Oops. Bend it up a bit just to get it in. Then I can flatten it back down again. That's going to sit there. Oops. And I had this butterfly. That's going to sit on that fern. Okay. And, oh, where's my little birdie house? I want to forget him. I'm going to have that coming. Oh, yeah, I like that. Like bursting out from the flowers. Oh, Susan, are you on your phone? If you're on your phone, just swipe to the right, and it'll get rid of that. Or if you're on your computer, it should give you the option to turn off the comments there. I think there's a box or something you can tick on the computer, but yes, you can get rid of the comments. Definitely. Okay, so there's my little birdie house. Got this flower as well if I want it. Yeah, I'll pop that there. This one is not quite dry. We'll need that one to dry to stick properly. Thanks, Sarah. Okay, that's that. Wipe that off a little bit. Right. I think I don't like that there. I'm gonna sit there. This leaf. I'm going there. Whoops. there. Okay, right, we need to build up a little bit. I've got a rose that could come out there. Oh, good, you did it. No worries, Susan. Yeah, it is a bit annoying when you want to just watch a demo. So we'll have that peeking out there, and now let's start thinking about this dragonfly. So if I just take out, so with the Hobbylicious craft boards, what they've done, which I really like, because sometimes they get broken, on each piece they add a little tab, so that when you take it out, that's going to be the bit that breaks, if you like, and then you just trim that off so that you don't break the actual piece, which I like that. So then it ends up complete. So let's see, I think it's gonna sit kind of over all of that. I just want to make sure I'm leaving enough room at this stage. And there's no other tabs that attach on the Hobbylicious ones. A lot of them you find have the little tabs all the way around attaching it, and I've many a time broken pieces because of that, so I find that very frustrating. Okay, so that's going to be the second layer, so I think that sits nicely. Yeah, so I'll come back to him later. Now I'm happy that looks good, and let's just see if we need anything else at this stage. Do we need to go any higher, or shall we work on colouring from there? I don't want it to be too busy going up. It's quite loud already, they're quite big pieces. Just stick that one in better. Let's see. Need some like smaller bits. Oh, that one works. These are the Hobbylicious little roses, very cute. No, I've got a little leaf that could sit there. Just remembering when you play like this, what is stuck down and what isn't. Then you end up lifting it up and oh, half my stuff's fell off. I've got some bits that are purple that I'm going to stick at the end so I don't lose the pretty colour they already are. Kind of works there. Okay, so I added this leaf. I think this is a Kaiser Craft one I've had in my stash for a while. These two little pieces. And then this is from that rose mould I just showed you. Leaves I like to use a lot, and there's some different shapes of leaves on there, so I like that set. Okay, I don't think we want to go much more. I think that's looking pretty good already. I'll add the small flowers later because they're already the right colour. Yeah, I think that I'm going to stop there. And let's start preparing this for some colour now. Okay, so I'll pop the lid back on that. There's a little bit left, enough to stick my dragonfly on later. So let's pop that out the way for now. Well, I was going to add some little domes actually. So these are melange pebbles from Prima. You could also use those kind of little pebbles you get for in-home decor. Let's see. There are different sizes in here, so they go to quite big and they go down to tiny ones. Let's see if I've got think I've used all the really tiny ones. They go down to about 3mm. So will that fit in there? Yes. And one on this big metal flower here. Whoops. Forgot I wanted to add those. I've cleaned the palette knife. Never mind. One in this flower because I've knocked the center off of that one. That'll do. I like a 3. 3s make me happy. Right, that's not the right lid, that one. Okay, so that over there. Right, let's start getting ready to colour. So as I said, if you were normally I would colour that with white gesso to knock the colour back. Because I've already got my clear gesso out and I'm using something very pigmented and heavy bodied. Hi Deborah, I'm going to just carry on with my clear gesso. So first of all, I'm just going to give it a quick blast just to help that contact, help the gel just make a better contact, so when I start in with my brush it's not going to knock it about so bad. I think it all feels pretty good. Okay. Right, so gesso. Back to my clear gesso. And I need a paintbrush. Okay, let's see. This one, so you want something a bit firmer because we're going to work into our pieces now. If you can hold on to bits while you do this, where some bits are not quite dry yet, that's helpful. Just to stop you moving it too much. I am really not too concerned here. As I said, everything I'm using is very heavy bodied and heavily pigmented, so I probably could have even got away without using gesso at all in this case. That's one joy of the impastos. They are sort of very close to being as thick as a modelling paste. Ah, I didn't stick this one. There you go, I did miss one. I think I did put some on there, but I didn't put enough on there. Let's get a bit more. Is this pot done? I think it is. There we go, that's another pot used up then. What am I doing? Putting that lid on there. Got probably just enough to catch my butterfly. Right. Where did I get to here? I think. So gesso. So usually clear gesso is very thin. It's used a lot in things like art journaling. Or where you've got a very decorative paper and you just want to protect it, you don't want to lose the pattern. Right, let's get new gel because I've run out of that one. So yeah, it's not for adding dimension or texture, it's just to protect the surface, so it's much thinner, whereas the white gesso and black gesso with the Prima range and other ranges I'm sure as well can be heavy bodied or thick, it might say something along those lines, because you could also stencil with it, and just gives a thick coverage. So say like this dark wood, if we wanted to get rid of the colour, it would do that quite easily without having to do, say, 5 or 6 coats to get rid of that colour. but clear gesso isn't used in that way ordinarily. It's just to protect the surface. Have I done everywhere? I think so. Okay. Sometimes as well, like say this rusty leaf, it's a nice colour already, so it is coloured, but we like the colour, but we want to add say some ink sprays to it, then clear gesso would be useful for that. Okay, we'll just quickly dry the gesso. Thank you for joining me. Oh, I was going to say as well, I was waiting for people to come on. I just wanted to say thank you very, very much. We have reopened as of yesterday with some restrictions, so we'll only be posting once a week at the moment, to sort of minimise the time we're at post office and things like that, for our own safety, for others, just to you know, be considerate. And it made me a little bit emotional actually, all the orders we received yesterday. You know, it was an anxious time when we closed. We were worried a lot. I do have a part-time job as well, but you know, we do rely on this money as well. It's not just about the money, but you know, it's my baby, this company, and I was worried, you know, are people going to come back? Are they still going to want us? So yeah, it was really nice to know that you did. We did appreciate it a lot. So I just wanted to say thank you. Right, that's my little sloppy story over. So let's go. So I've got two purples in the impasto range, aubergine and heather. So this is a more pinky purple, this is a dark plummy kind of purple. It's not quite indigo, it's more, it is on the red side of purple. So we've got those, but we've also got some other colours we could mix purples from in the range. Okay, and we've got of course white if we want to tone anything down. So let's start. Let's just start with the colour. So let's go in with heather first. So as I've said, they are very, very pigmented. I'm actually going to just use my board palette. Why waste any? I'll put it straight onto my project. So we want a small blob like this. They are very, very thick, very pigmented, so we're not going to need lots. Yes, they are yummy. They are my favourite paints. I love paint. I'm a paint addict. Hello, my name's Louise. I'm a paint addict. And impastos are my favourite. Okay, so you can water these down as well. But just look how the colour is stunning. And see how easily that's covered that wood, and there's no white gesso on there. So I'm going to just start tapping these around, and they blend when wet. I mean, they do dry quite quick. They're a matte paint, which I think gives it some properties which enable it to dry quite quick, probably because they're thick bodied as well. So you only have so much time to work with them, but whilst wet they will blend with other colours. Okay, so let's go ahead and add another colour in. Let's add this dark one. And I'm not going to clean my brush because I'm going to get some nice shades where the colours mix together, and that's fine by me. This one I think is going to need a little bit more gel later to stick it down properly. It's where the base is a little bit unsteady. They do, yeah, and if you water them down, I mean, a blob like that, if you added water, which I may do up the top here, you'd be able to cover a whole 12 by 12 sheet with that amount of paint quite easily watered down. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and introduce some other colours. So we can use, we've got purple here already, so we'll have a little bit pink and blue. This is a really rich blue. It's a beautiful colour. Okay, so we can make another shade of purple by mixing those two together. Let's add a bit of crimson. This is a kind of magenta-y colour. It's a reddy pink. So, oh, look at that, nice. That's like a proper purple, like Cadbury's purple now. Yum. Purple is my favourite colour, but I can understand a lot of people are frightened of purple, using purple in craft, and I just think it can be such a beautiful colour. I don't know if it's, I don't know why it is that people find purple hard to use. I mean, it is a strong colour, but so can blue be. And we can knock the colour back. We can add whites. And I think purple can be feminine and masculine. It can be pretty or dark. I think it's a very versatile colour. You can go from the very pink scale of purple right through to the very blue. So there's so many hues of purple. Okay, so we're getting there. And we will use the white to knock anything back later that we think is a bit too much, and just to kind of draw the colours together. So let me go ahead and add a little bit of white to my little palette. Now my white is very used and abused. I did not put the lid on properly in the past, so it's very dried out. But in a way it's kind of good because it's gone very, very thick. So see how we've just changed that colour completely by adding white now. So now we've got a kind of dark lilac-y colour, which is very pretty. Okay, and I think what I'd like to do at this point is start using my water spray to move that colour around and get it in anywhere I've missed. There's quite a lot of white sections still, and this will quite quickly remedy that problem while they're still wet. So I can now move all that colour around again and get it in all the little gaps and bits we've got that have missed. So let's bring back some of that more reddy pinky colour, and we'll add a bit of this. No problem, Ali, thank you for joining. I am currently adding my colours. So this is Ali on the chat now, our newest DT, and he was coming up with these lovely challenges for you. So don't forget to pop over to the page. So it's the same name, Thompson's Craft Supplies, just without the group on the end, obviously. I'm sorry, you need to head over to the group. This is the page. So head over to the group, so same name, Thompson's Craft Supplies, but it has group on the end, and take part in the challenge there. And lovely Ali is sending out some goodies. We're doing one every week at the moment, and sending out a little prize to the winner. And as with all our challenges, it's not which is the best and what is the best anyway. That's very subjective, isn't it? It's just something that's drawn us for some reason. Okay, so now I'm going to use this colour I've got here and wash this out. Remember, I've got clear gesso on here, so as long as I don't completely pull that off, I'm going to be able to get a wash going on here. So I'm going to get a wipe, or you can get some kitchen roll and just kind of pat this around. I don't want it to be too dark up here. I want it to kind of fade out. And the other thing with impastos, because they're so heavy bodied, they hold texture very, very well. So even doing this when it's very watered down, you can see that nice effect it's giving. Yeah, they're lovely colours, aren't they? Sarah is also an impasto fan. I think we need to start like a help group or something. Impastos Anonymous or something, because I am addicted. I need help. Help me. Okay, I'm going to stop and dry that now, and then I'll see what work we need. Yeah, I love purple, and I like that it's different shades of purple. That's another thing. I think we can get stuck with purple, that there's only kind of dark purple or lilac, and there really isn't. There's so many shades of purple. As I say, you've got more on the blue scale, the pink scale, reddy purples. There's a lot of different kinds of purple. The project's getting quite wet, so it's important that we stop and dry, especially as we've sprayed into our layers. That's all going to seep underneath, and all that gel we've got sticking that down is going to come unstuck if we don't be careful. So I've got quite strong colours going on now. So I'm going to work now to tone this back a bit and blend it together. Yeah, mixed media Anonymous would just be better, wouldn't it, in general? I think we need to start that. I think I've got my box stuck on my wire. Right, so let me put some of these back out my way. I'm just going to keep the white, have a little drink. I think I'll make the dragonfly a totally different kind of purple, or maybe even white, so that it kind of stands out from the rest. Pastos, as they come, dry very quickly. Because I've watered this down a lot, it's just taken a little bit longer, because I have got quite a lot of water in some places. I need to pat a bit of that off, I think, just in this little flower. There we go. I need to just fix this flower down properly. Let me stop and do that now. Let's get you there, and this stone. I've got it very wet there, look. Let's just take some of that liquid back out. That'll help it stick better. Go. Okay, we're getting there, folks. What time are we? Oh, not too bad. We're getting near the end. Right, so I'm going to take just the white now. I'll put some on my mat. some on my mat to the side there. And I'm going to get a smaller paintbrush now. And I'm going to start bringing this together, bringing those different colours together using my white. It's a bit too stark, so I'm going to pop a little bit of the heather in. I think it's a bit too much contrast. Just have a little squeeze of that. That's better. Yeah, okay, that's a bit better. And then what I'll do is I've got some purple wax, which I will use to bring it together a bit more at the end. So I'm just going anywhere that I've not covered or just doesn't look quite right. Okay. So yeah, the white I recommend because it just gives you so much scope. You can create shades, so even if, I don't know, you only really like to use blue, you could get a couple of the blue impastos and then get the white, and you could make so many different shades of blue. The black is also one I recommend. It can help you to create shadows, which looks really nice. So you can go into all the little bits where natural light would create a shadow, and just sort of helps tie it together and look a bit more realistic, I guess. Okay, so I'll use some of this up here with my water to kind of wash out the colour, so to bring this really bold colour out, so it's not just completely, you know what I mean, like one and then the other, like it's two separate pieces. So we'll drag some of that back down here to kind of bring the two together. Okay. That flower is being naughty, doesn't want to stay. I may have to get the heavy body stuff out after and fix that one. Right, and I'm going to add more white again, just to get this really light now. I'm going to leave that the watery wash up there, sit there and do its job for a bit. So now I've got really pale purple. Just going back again. And the thin paintbrush is good. Towards the end you can get in all the little niggly bits, like underneath stuff. Okay, so don't worry, it looks a bit messy at this point, that's fine. That's too much paint, that was a waste, that was very naughty. Wasting my favourite paints. Alright, so let's try that. Then I've got some sparkly paints I'd like to put on top and wax. So I've got a acrylic paint Sparks Iris Potion. I struggle with S's so bad, so this is a Prima one. And I have got Prima Antique Brilliance Amethyst Magic. Now I'm going to see how it works, because the Antique Brilliance ones have a kind of brown undertone. That's why the antique ones. Do I actually have the... Let me have a look. Ah, yes, actually, I will use this one. So that has a browny undertone. This is the newer ones, the metallic ones, so metallic ones. So that'll be more of a true purple, no browny undertone. That's more what I wanted. Okay, so you can see those lighter colours have helped draw it together a little bit better. Now it's time to take some of this liquid off. Now it's sat there a bit. There we go. I'll kind of fade it out. There we go. Better. So I hope you can see me splodging stuff around. That you don't need to be a fine artist to get quite a cool effect from these paints. They do the work for you. You don't need to be a trained painter. Okay. Right, so let's get another thinnish paintbrush. I'm going to go with the Sparks paints now. So this is quite an old one, so it has gone a bit thicker, but they're much thinner, kind of regular acrylics. So mine's quite thick, but they are super sparkly, so very pigmented again, with lots and lots of shimmer. So this is just going to give us a bit of contrast to all that matte that we've been using, and it's quite dark, so we can use it to also help create some shadows. And again, we can go in any bits that we've missed. If we've got any little bits still we can see, like under there. And yeah, not too much. We don't want to lose the work that we've done, because it's looking quite pretty. It's just a little finishing touch, little shimmer. Okay. That's looking pretty good. You can add a few touches around here. Again, these paints dry very quick as well. Well, I think that's enough of that. Let's see. We're looking funny. No, I think that's okay. So that just gives it a little sparkle in places and a darker colour as well. And then this is the wax. So let me show you the difference. So this is very, very bright, colourful, shiny. This is the Antique Brilliance. So more of a, oh, this is a new one. Wow, I didn't know I had a new one. So can you see that kind of browny tone? So that's going to give you more of an aged look. Okay, but I want something a bit more oomph today. So I will, now these are very, very pigmented. So if you do use your finger, they will stain, just a word of warning. I'm going to use a little brush. And this is going to give us a little bit of pow. Oh, that bit of paint's wet. So I'm just kind of popping some on my lid, wiping it back so I don't get sort of nasty clumps of wax. Ideally you want quite a firm brush. So hopefully you can see that really umphy purple. That's the wax there. The waxes are permanent once dry, so wax is really kind of something you want to add at the last stage. If I was to now want to say put ink sprays or something on anywhere I've got the wax, is going to resist it. It's going to give like a waterproof effect on the top. It's like a sealant, if you like. So they're very similar to furniture waxes that stop spills and things damaging the furniture. So it is really a last step, and also, you know, you don't want to cover it, so put these on last. Okay, right, I think what I will do with the dragonfly actually is just the wax. So I'm going to move this out the way for now. That's pretty much done. So I'll just give you a quick look. Pop this somewhere safe for a minute, she says, trying to find somewhere safe. There we go. So let's work on the dragonfly now. So let's get all the bits out. So we've got these wings here. And then the other two wings here. So if you pull towards the kind of tab, that's the best way to sort of not damage them, or push them out with a craft knife if you prefer. So I'll keep all that for something else, and I just need to trim those little bits off. Scissors. So let's trim those little tags off. And we can build our beautiful dragonfly. And what I'm actually going to do, because that's a metallic, I'm going to actually paint the dragonfly in black. I will use my black impasto. Let's have a look at those. There we go. Because metallics just really shine on black. Right, so let's have a look. So let me get my gel again. I'll just use my finger because I only need a touch. This is very light. Okay, it's going to go that way. Oops. And then some on the wings. Dragonfly is really pretty. I love the detail that they've gone to on the wings, and that you've got the kind of bottom and top layers. Oops, that's the wrong way around. Is it? Are different. Now they should line up, I think. Yeah, really. They just put so much work into their pieces. They really think them through. I think I'll be asking to have some of these on my order for the shop. These are rather splendid, I have to say. So it's clever again. They've made it so that a little bit sits on the body of the dragonfly, as of course they would do in real life, because they need to attach to something. But you could, if you don't like that, you can stick them from underneath as well. I don't know if that was intentional, but obviously you need something to stick it together. Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? So really, really nice. So yeah, I think we shall have some of those. Oh, I covered my, to clean my hand and made it worse. Right, so I'll just give that a very quick blast just to set that gel. Being careful. Remember, with craft board it's very delicate, so don't glue it to your mat. I've done that before. and then broken my pieces trying to scrape them off. So kind of glue in one area and move it around is a good idea. Okay, I'm going to just take some of the black on my finger. I'm going to just pat that on top. I'm not going to worry about the bottom layer. I quite like that it'll be different colours actually. Okay, and down the body. So these are definitely paints also made for finger painting and like texture tools. They hold the texture so well, especially as they sort of get older, because you've allowed air into the tube. They will get a bit thicker, and the sort of thicker they get, the more body they get, the more texture they hold. Rather, obviously they get thicker. The more I am awake, the more thicker I get. There we go. Oh, that looks really pretty with the whiter colour popping underneath. That looks pretty as it is. But we've got some wax to add. Put my finger with a clean bit this time. Alright, give that a little dry. And I need to find a word or something because I have to have words on my project. So let me go ahead and look for a Hobbylicious word that we've got in our shop. So that would be fitting. Here's my box of goodies. Let's see. Perfect. Let's have perfect. And I'll do the same for this, I think. Let's have that black paint again. Just with my finger. Pat that around. So if you want a bit of texture, leave it a bit thicker. Okay. Right, done with that. Give that a little dry too. And wait for a minute, then let's check with the wax. We'll see how much this comes to life on black. So these words are MDF. I wanted something with a bit more dimension. I like my words, phrases to stand out. So there are words and phrases in this nice kind of swirly script. And I just think they add a brilliant finishing touch to everything. They really do stand out well. Okay, that's dry. Right, now I am going to go in with my finger this time. Right, are you ready? Ooh, yes. Look at that. Wow. Blingy blingy. Yep. So on black. Amazing. And because I've used a paint rather than gesso, which is has not semi coverage, if you like. It's not as full covering as a paint. So because I've used a paint, it makes that stand out even more. Look at that. Whoop, don't break our dragonfly. And we're going to do the same one here. Ooh, pretty. And I like that white and leaving that one, the natural colour underneath. It's really helping it pop out. So the more you kind of buff these, the more they will shine. Just be careful, because this is craft board. We don't want to break it. There we go. Super shiny. Can you see it? Yay! Right, so I'll quickly wipe my finger, try and get the worst of that wax off. So there you go. Leaves a bit of colour, that's fine. I've got the weekend. Right, so bringing back our piece, let's pop our finishing touches on. So this is going to sit up here, and our beautiful him to sit somewhere we can attach him to. Maybe on that leaf there. And I want his little tail to pop out off the canvas, I think. So a bit of gel. You could get away with a matte medium, light gel, whatever the brand is you use. In Fabrique Decor we have it, it's called it's called, I don't know, I've forgotten, my brain's gone, acrylic, matte acrylic medium, or you'll see it as matte medium, something like that. So it's the lightest of your gels. You would get away with sticking this on with that, as they're very light. Okay, the MDF probably not, it's thicker, denser, so you need something a little bit heavier. So I'm just using my 3D gel again, little touches on the back, pop that up there, and I think we are done. I was going to add some stones, but I actually don't think it needs any texture. The paint gives the illusion of a lot of texture. So I think that's done. So here is my purple challenge. Pop over to our group, so Thompson's Craft Supplies group, and you can take part in this week's challenge. The picture you will see on the event here, that's the board. So create anything you like whatsoever, a canvas, it could be something like this, or it could be a card, it could be a scrapbook layout, it could be anything at all. We have people do paint pours, so we love anything that gets you creating and just using that colour scheme. You don't have to use all the colours, just purple, any shade, it could be 5 shades, 1 shade, anything you like. So give it a try, and I think challenges really do help push your imagination. And once again, just thank you for coming back, sticking with us during this difficult time, and it's really nice to know that we have lovely sort of loyal customers, and it does mean the world. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.